And let's face it, this industry that grew up around here with John Rockefeller and steel mills, at one time we were one of the wealthiest cities in the country, and it's all because of this river and lakefront.
River-minded Tim Donovan walks near the Cuyahoga, crooking its way to Lake Erie. When surveyor Moses Cleveland sailed Lake Erie in 1796, stepping ashore where the Cuyahoga met the lake, he stopped here. The city of Cleveland grew from that moment, eventually becoming an industrial giant. Sadly, Cleveland's Cuyahoga River became an industrial sewer. In 1969, part of the river caught fire when something burning fell into its pollution.
Caught some refuse on the river on fire and it burned a bridge.
So that fire wasn't the worst and it wasn't the first, but it's the one that caught everybody's attention.
The '69 fire burned 2 railroad trestles. The fire was small compared to others bigger, but all were fueled by floating industrial waste. But from a single photograph came change.
The infamous 1969 fire was about 5 miles up the river from downtown Cleveland. This fireboat was the vehicle used by Cleveland firefighters to douse the flames. That fire was not a very big fire, but the story itself caught fire, and that sparked a nationwide environmental movement.
Local news showed the photograph. When a national news magazine did the same, the story went worldwide. Cleveland's burning river. From there, Cleveland Mayor Carl Stokes and others pushed Washington for federal legislation to clean America's polluted waters. The burning of the Cuyahoga was to become a grandfather of the nation's Clean Water Act, which would come a few years later.
It gelled people. It was the right place, the right time historically, and the environmental movement, many can say, hey, kind of really started here.
Slowly, the polluted Cuyahoga, once thought dead, flowed cleaner. Recovery took years, but government and Cuyahoga riverbank industries found agreement to approach business differently.
It really advanced industrial manufacturing by having to figure out a way to do what you do without polluting the environment.
So how is the Cuyahoga now?
To us, our canary in the coal mine is fish, numbers, and health. So the water is clean enough for them to live.
Tim Donovan of Canalway Partners places emphasis on towpaths of the old Ohio and Erie canals and the bank of the river. He knows clean water invites recreation and riverbank housing.
We bought these 11 acres here. We did a lot of environmental cleanup. We were able to take a former marina and make it into a fish habitat. These are all good things for the river.
Cleveland looks to its future, walking the balance beam, treading the watery line between industry and recreation.
Both recreation and industry is sharing that river to the benefit of both.
The river is the lifeblood of some Cleveland business and commerce. As well, it is the recreational spine running through the valley of the shadow of industry. A picture of business and recreation coexisting in harmony, painted on a canvas of recovery.
And how you can take something that was potentially viewed as really bad back then, but now this river is really viewed as a success story.
Story of a burning river of 45 years ago. On this anniversary of the fire, river-minded tell the polluted history, but emphasize river repair is the greater story. Literally, the spark which began a river's burn pushed the entire nation into greater environmental consciousness and the nation's Clean Water Act of 1972. Far cleaner now, still rolling, Cleveland's Great Cuyahoga. That's my perspective on this story from Ohio. I'm Ohio Bibb.